Lord forces Lucy to smuggle a new synthetic compound inside her body. He opens the briefcase and pulls out 4 bags of blue pills. The boss grabs a sample and forces an addict to test it immediately. The guy takes 1 hit and instantly goes into orbit. The boss is impressed by the purity, so he has the addict killed on the spot. He tells Lucy the drug is called CPH4, a powerful new compound. Before she can refuse to help, one of his men knocks her out cold. When she wakes up, the bag of drugs has been surgically implanted in her stomach. The gang brings her back to the boss, along with 3 other unwilling mules. To move CPH4 worldwide, the boss is using human couriers as living containers. With their families threatened, all 4 accept plane tickets to different countries. While locked in a holding room, a thug notices Lucy and corners her. He starts groping her, but she tells him to back off. He punches her to the ground and kicks her repeatedly in the stomach. The pain is unbearable, and his guard finally drags him away. But the damage is done. The bag inside her has ruptured. CPH4 floods into her bloodstream and spreads through every organ. Blue particles surge like lightning through her veins and tissues. Lucy feels an explosion of energy coursing through her entire body. Gravity stops working. She floats up and crawls across the ceiling. She grabs the chain bolted to the wall just to stay anchored. Finally, her brain completes the first stage of transformation. A guard enters and starts unbuckling his belt, but the moment he reaches for her, she strikes. She picks up his gun instinctively, unlocks herself, and walks out. The thugs playing cards in the hall don't even see her coming. She drops all of them in seconds, then realizes she needs more CPH4 to survive. A bullet hits her shoulder, but she feels nothing and digs it out with her fingers. She finds 2 cab drivers outside the building. She fires a shot into one driver's leg to force the other to cooperate, then orders him to take her to a hospital. Inside, the Chinese signs automatically translate to English in her vision. She bursts into an operating room, mid-surgery, and glances at the monitor. She shoots the patient in the head, putting him out of his misery. Before the surgeon can react, Lucy changes into scrubs and lies on the table herself. She forces him at gunpoint to remove the drug package from her abdomen. Terrified, the surgeon carefully opens her abdomen. He pulls out half a bag of blue powder, and Lucy tells him it is CPH4. She asks if he knows what it is, and he explains that pregnant women produce trace amounts. It appears in the 7th week and contains enough energy to build a human brain. That tiny amount of CPH4 is what allowed humans to develop advanced intelligence. It is the reason we became the dominant species on Earth. The surgeon is stunned that Lucy absorbed half the bag and didn't die instantly. It is a medical miracle, but Lucy knows the truth. She has 24 hours to find the other 3 bags or her brain will burn out. As her brain capacity increases, so do her abilities. Her hearing sharpens. She can eavesdrop on a phone call a block away. Her vision pierces through solid objects, and she sees the cellular structure of a tree. Lucy heads to the hotel where the drug lord is staying. Using echolocation, she pinpoints every guard's position through the walls. She fires a few precise shots, and they all collapse instantly. The boss is in the back room getting a massage, completely unaware. He refuses to talk and just stares at her with pure hate in his eyes. She is done asking questions. She reaches out and puts her hands on his head. She is reading the neurons in his brain like a hard drive. In seconds, she pulls the exact flights and destinations of the other 3 mules from his memories. The boss is screaming but can't do anything. Then she heads to her friend's place. Her brain is at 28% now, and just by touching her friend's shoulder, she can see through skin, every organ and blood vessel lit up like an X-ray. She opens a laptop and starts absorbing every brain evolution study ever written. In minutes, she has read through every research paper by the world's top neuroscience professor. Then she hacks into the professor's home network with her mind. She pops up on his TV screen, the professor goes pale, and she gets straight to the point. She tells him she took synthetic CPH4, and her brain cells are multiplying, millions of new cells every second. Her brain capacity is now at 28% and climbing fast. She can control her own metabolism, manipulate magnetic fields, and bend electrical waves. She can even move through wired and wireless devices. As her brain evolves, her human senses and emotions are fading away. What is replacing them is raw knowledge, billions of years of cellular memory flooding her mind. She can feel it happening, and she knows she has less than 24 hours left. She asks the professor what she should do, and he thinks hard before answering. He tells her the only thing that makes sense: pass on everything she has learned before it is gone. That clicks for her, because knowledge is the only thing that outlasts death. She decides to spend her final hours transferring everything in her brain to humanity. She tells him she'll be there in 12 hours. Her brain hits 30%, and now she can do even more. She changes her hair color and length instantly, like flipping a switch in her head. She calls the French police and gives them the flight info for the other 3 mules. The captain's confused until she hacks his computer and sends him photos of all 3 targets. He is skeptical, but he is not about to ignore a solid lead on drug traffickers. Using her intel, the cops grab all 3 mules at the airport, but the boss sends a backup crew after her. She is on 2 laptops at once, downloading the entire internet into her brain. But then she takes a sip of champagne and suddenly everything stops. She looks down. There is a tooth in her glass. Her brain just hit 40% and her body is breaking down. She can't hold herself together anymore. She coughs and 2 more teeth fall out. Her skin starts dissolving. Her fingers crumble into particles and drift away like dust. She panics, jumps up from her seat. Everyone on the plane is staring at her. A flight attendant tries to stop her. She waves her hand and sends him flying across the cabin. The decay is speeding up. Her face is twisting and warping. She is losing shape. Her brain evolved so fast that her cells are now breaking apart, trying to scatter on their own. She realizes she needs to flood them with energy, or they'll scatter, and she'll die. She grabs the rest of the CPH-4 packets from her bag. She tears them open and swallows everything, and it works. Her body starts pulling back together. Her brain crosses 50%, and her body completely loses its fixed form. She dissolves into a cloud of particles and disappears into the air. A second later, she wakes up in a hospital bed, her eyes shifting colors and shapes. At 50%, she can rearrange her cells however she wants. She walks out and runs straight into the cops who came to arrest her. That is the scene from the start. The captain sees her power and gives in. He agrees to help her recover the last 3 bags. Meanwhile, the other mules reach the hospital. Doctors prep them for surgery to remove the drugs, but the gang's crew is right behind them. She is in the car, and her brain is so advanced, she can now see electromagnetic waves. She sees an endless web of colorful signals and reaches out to touch them. She picks out the gang members' phone calls from the noise. When she hears the boss's crew is about to grab the CPH-4, she jumps out and climbs into the driver's seat. Right as the gang grabs the CPH-4 and tries to leave, Lucy arrives and blocks the exit. Her brain is now at 60%. The boss orders his men to kill her while he grabs the case. He tries to escape through the back door, but slams straight into an invisible wall. Every weapon in the room suddenly flies up and sticks to the ceiling. The thugs clench their fists and rush her, but before they can land a punch, they freeze midair. An invisible force yanks them off the ground and holds them suspended. She can control gravity itself now, like it is a toy. They're helpless. The boss is snarling and straining but can't move an inch. Lucy calmly walks over and takes the case. She has collected all 4 bags of CPH-4. It is like watching evolution play out in fast forward. Lucy tells the scientists that time is the one true constant in the universe. She pulls out a projector and shows them a simulation. As a car accelerates toward infinite speed, it disappears from view. Only time can prove it ever existed. Meanwhile, the boss hears his crew failed again and completely loses it. He storms the university lab in broad daylight. Lucy knows she is running out of time. She has to finish the evolution now. She tells them to dissolve the last 3 bags and inject everything at once. The moment the drug hits her veins, she takes a deep breath and absorbs it all in one go. Energy pours out of her mouth like a flood. Her brain hits 70% and her body starts to change. Black tendrils like living ink spread out from her body and latch onto everything around her. They're consuming the objects in the room to fuel the transformation. At 80%, she pulls the professors into a white void. Inside, she builds a supercomputer from nothing. It is a projection from the 4th dimension. It holds infinite knowledge. At 90%, she breaks the laws of space and time. In an instant, she is standing under the Eiffel Tower. She can go anywhere time has ever touched. She waves her hands and freezes time. Her left hand speeds it up. Her right hand rewinds it. The modern city around her starts aging backward. Paris rewinds through the industrial age and keeps going. She sees ancient settlements, then prehistoric life. She keeps rewinding until she reaches the first hominid on Earth. The ape reaches out and their fingers touch. The moment they make contact, Lucy shoots off the planet at light speed. She travels back to the birth of the universe and watches Earth form from nothing. At 99%, she drifts through space, watching nebulas swirl and collapse into stars. Back in the lab, the boss aims at her and fires. Her cells scatter and reassemble at impossible speed, then dissolve into nothing. He watches her vanish into thin air and completely loses his mind, screaming at the empty room. The supercomputer she built hums to life and a black USB drive slides out. It contains all the knowledge in the universe. Lucy is gone. She is merged with the fabric of space-time itself. She became a flash drive. That is the end of the movie.